Hello, everyone, and welcome to Point of View, the show that brings you a fresh perspective on news, sports, and current events. My name is Rick Daniels, and I am very happy to be here. Thank you for joining us. We have with us a very special guest today, Ms. Tiffany Tardy. She is the Assistant Director of the McNair Scholars Program in the Office of Multicultural Affairs and Student Success here at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. And, of course, our own Larry D. West III. Tiffany and Larry, how are you today?
Doing well, Rick. How are you?
Very
Thank
good.
you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for being here. It's a snowy Friday, huh?
We're doing all right.
Yeah?
I'm doing awesome, man.
Good.
Great.
Good. Well, we've got quite the show for you all today, and we hope you're doing well as well. We begin today's segment, of course, with national news with an elderly woman out of Wisconsin pleading no contest for killing her infant daughter more than 50 years ago. Ruby Klokow faces 45 days in jail, and our own Larry D. West has more for us on this story. Larry, what you got for us, man?
Well, apparently, the way the story goes, in 1957, Ruby Klokow's daughter rolled off of the couch and had brain damage and died from that. Well, here we are in 2008. Well, I'll rewind. In 2008, she was just charged with the death of her daughter after her 57-year-old son came forward and admitted that his mother abused them when they were younger. Fast forward to 2013, she's facing 45 days, 10 years probation for the murder of her infant child from 1957.
Not years, days.
Not years. I'm going to say it again. 45 days.
45 days.
10 years probation out of a plea bargain. The Sheboygan County prosecutor said that because of her elderly age and because of her health, that it wasn't worth pursuing in the case.
Oh, wow. What are your thoughts on that, Tiff? What do you think?
You know, that really bothers me. I mean, I think about Wisconsin and, our justice system, and I go, wow, 45 days and she killed a child. And I know 50 years ago, all that type of jazz, but I'm really bothered by that, I have to say.
You talk about statute of limitations, it probably, expired in terms of manslaughter charges, but statute of limitations never expires for what you did. I don't know if she was sorrowful, remorseful for what she did, but she lived with this secret for so long and would have taken it to the grave had not her 57-year-old son, 57 by the way,
57.
came forward and admitted that his mother abused him as a child.
Who was it who said that they're not going to prosecute someone who looks like everyone's grandmother? Who said that?
This was the district attorney.
The DA said
the DA.
that.
Well, you wonder if it was my grandmother. What would that look like?
If it was mama,
if it was
big mama,
if it was Medea,
would it be the same way? Yeah, it was Medea. And
I'm gonna lay it out for you. 45 years,
right?
10 years until you're eligible for parole. That's how it would have been.
Cool. All right, we've got another story. Today is Doomsday. That's right. The sequester is upon us, and our own Larry West has more on that story. Larry, tell us what you got for us, please.
As Rick said, today is Doomsday, but not really. So today is the day that President Obama will be forced to sign the sequestration into effect. Now, who does this come after? Basically everyone. If you participate in this economy, you will be affected by the sequestration. So social programs will be saved, in a sense, Social Security, Medicare, Pell Grants, different things like that won't face budget cuts, but this will have a devastating impact on our economy.
Now, this was all contingent upon whether or not Congress could work out a deal. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Why don't you think they could work out a deal?
Congress can never work out a deal.
They can never.
Not in this administration.
No.
Not in this administration, no.
I am highly upset and highly irritated with this Congress. I mean, not just with this Congress, with this entire political system over the past, I would say over the past 18 years, quite honestly, everything that we've seen go on, they take us for granted. How can you, I just can't fathom you taking my personal life, my personal finances, my personal experience into, how do you take that for granted when you're trying to figure out these deals? Like, they don't consider us. It's all about this whole partisanship thing, and it's being polarized. But
do you think Obama's actually pursuing partisanship anymore? Is that even on his agenda?
I think that's out the window. It's either my way or the highway kind of a thing.
Because after all, he's not coming back.
He's not coming back.
So there's almost no need to do it.
No,
It's true. It's true.
It's my way or the highway with Obama, and hopefully, something works out, because I'm tired of this coming up. We can never agree on anything, whether it's budget cuts, whether it's social programs, whatever direction this nation goes in.
Well, whatever you agree on, we want to hear from you. So go ahead and go on over to Twitter @PointOfView_RDL. Same with the Facebook page and Point of View. What's the email address again?
pointofview.rdl@gmail.com.
Thank you so much. And then we've got one more story for you, Larry. Go ahead and tell us about that.
1 year after Trayvon Martin was shot and killed by armed neighborhood watchman George Zimmerman, the national debate centered on race and gun control has simmered down. Although the rallies, media cameo, political uproar has all but diminished, the facts still remain. Trayvon Martin was unable to celebrate his 18th birthday, which would have been this February, and George Zimmerman, his accused killer, remains free on bail with a defense fund that's expected to exceed $1 million and may be acquitted under Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law. We've just surpassed the 1 year anniversary. As well, earlier in the month, I believe around the first week of February, Trayvon would have turned 18. Wow. Everything has died down now. You haven't seen these huge rallies. You haven't seen these huge, swarms of support. They did have a vigil in his honor for his birthday and for the 1 year.
And my question is, not to cut you off, we only got 1 minute left. Where in the heck is George Zimmerman?
In hiding.
Hiding.
His location will not be disclosed.
$100,000 in his fund.
No, $300,000
in his fund.
And it's expected to exceed $1 million by the time it's over.
So there are $300,000 worth of people out there who support him.
Who support him and his mission and support this Florida Stand Your Ground law. But one thing I do want to say before we go to break, that they did a review of the Stand Your Ground law, and they did find that over 200 cases that law has been applied so loosely. In fact, that a man was let go, he was acquitted, even after he left the altercation, went to his car, got a gun, and came back and killed the man. Still acquitted under Stand Your Ground.
Wow. Well, Stand Your Ground. I think that's going to have much of an effect on how this case turns out. We want to hear what you have to say, so go on ahead and, again, go over to Twitter at @PointOfView_RDL. Same with the Facebook page, or feel free to email us at the Gmail. We just said a few moments ago. I keep saying that because I forget. We're going to take a commercial break, folks. Thank you for watching Point of View. We will be right back.
Tea tardy for the party.
You're good. First segment, really good.
It's pretty fun.
I guess one thing that makes me different is my creative sense in LU. I'm very cheery.
I'm the only Latino that's in theater.
Makes me like the members of LU is we share culture.
We all just get along.
Like one big family.
Anybody can join
and enjoy each other's friendships.
Anybody who wants to learn about mainly Latinos.
Who likes diversity.
Somos diferentes, somos uno.
Jitters is a student-operated coffee house located on campus offering a variety of hot and cold drinks served by our friendly staff. We also provide students with one of the most relaxing atmospheres on the entire campus, making it the perfect place to study. However, Jitters also offers several fun activities, including numerous board and card games and a regular schedule of live music. So check out Jitters tonight. Jitters is located on the main floor of Wells East. For more information, check us out on Facebook or call us at the number listed below.
Back, everyone. In case you're just tuning in, you are watching Point of View. Our special guest, Tiffany Tardy, has some hot topics for us today. Tiffany, go ahead and tell us what you've got for us on the list of hot topics.
Sure. Well, something I'm very excited about is Rosa Parks gets her own statue in our nation's capital.
Absolutely.
Very, very exciting news.
Clapworthy.
Something from President Obama. He says, this morning we celebrate a seamstress, slight in stature and mighty in culture. What do you guys think about that?
I like the slight in stature, mighty in culture reference, because that's exactly exactly what she stood for. She embodied the nonviolent resistance movement, and I think that with of course with what she did and what she stood for, she did it just that way. It was a very slight, modest movement, but it was mighty in its effort. And so I'm glad that she stands up there with the Susan B. Anthony's and some of the more powerful men and women that we've had in our country, because she's certainly a pioneer.
I agree. Most deserving. Rosa Parks, mother of the civil rights movement, for what she stood for, what she did. The quote Obama issued was very fitting for her character and her legacy. Much respect to Rosa Parks and her family.
Yeah, definitely.
And it seems like, you know, you think about the Martin Luther King monument going up in Washington, and now this statue, it feels like, you know, wow, this is some progress.
Yeah, progress and recognition. That's a part of the progress, is the recognition for what we've done in this country as well. So very excited about that. And I salute the president for making sure that this happened. I think it's a wonderful idea.
It's a beautiful statue.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Next hot topic, what we got for?
Next up, did you guys hear Lakers owner Jerry Buss passed away? So tell me, what do you think?
Rest in peace.
What's the future of the Lakers?
First of all, you know, rest in peace to Dr. Buss, extraordinary individual. The future of the Lakers, however, I must say they are going downhill. Downhill.
Sorry, DJ.
Sorry.
DJ's not with us today. I'm pretty sure he's going to hear about this.
No apologies to DJ. The Lakers are going downhill. We've seen what his son has done with the team already. That just tells you right there. We don't even have to talk anymore.
I got 3 words for you, man. Phil Jackson. Okay? He's coming back. It's the 3rd coming of Phil Jackson. He's coming back. He's engaged to the daughter. He's got the keys to the kingdom, man. Why? I don't know why they didn't bring him back in the first place, but I think the future is actually pretty bright for the Lakers.
You know why they didn't bring him back in the first place?
Why is
because
that?
of his son. You know who's leading the organization right now? His son. You know where the organization is going right now? Down here.
Yeah, I got to say, man, I don't agree with many of the decisions he's made so far.
Well, they suck.
Bottom line.
Right now, they suck.
Great way to go into the next topic.
All right, next topic is former member of Escape. You guys know her from Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kandi Burruss.
Yeah.
She is doing a gospel album, and she just posted the song "Stay Prayed Up," and it's for the people who she says aren't all the way there yet. And she's collaborating with Marvin Sapp. This is also the Kandi that does Bedroom Kandi, Sex Line. What do you guys think?
Oh. Well, I guess the saying is only a sinner who fell down, huh? You know what? I don't think anybody has the right to judge. I think that it's quite interesting. But I have to say that there's something honorable about a person who can say, like Steve Harvey did the event a couple years ago, "Don't Trip, He Ain't Through With Me Yet." I kind of respected that, you know, so I think I give her a little bit of respect. I think that, however, when you venture off in the gospel, or that you make a public recognition of your faith, you have to, there's a part of the public that wants to see that from you.
You have to uphold it.
Right, you have to uphold it. So and you've got to be true. So even with the sex toy line, at some point I believe that she's going to have to choose which direction she's going to go in, you know, permanently.
So?
If she's serious about it, she has to make a decision, because, I mean, no matter how you try to spin it, no one can quite honestly take you serious as a gospel artist on the business end. And a lot of times people don't take you serious faithfully, you know, if you have all these other items going on.
Now, real quick, I want to say this. Puff Daddy has done more than one gospel record before. I don't think he's ever put out an entire gospel album, but he's hooked up with Hezekiah Walker. He's done a few things. Of course, we've seen Mace go into gospel. Is it possible for her to keep both sides? Can she be spiritual and still have a sex TV show? What do you think?
No.
Well, the thing is, no.
No.
What do you think?
Well, I'm just saying, maybe it would be different if she was married, because the Bible doesn't say you can't have sex. You know, who cares if she's doing sex toys and having a sex show and talking about, you know, natural sexuality.
Right.
But maybe it's because she's not married that it's a problem. Or would it be a problem if Mary had a sex line?
I think it's so controversial.
They got a hip hop music line.
I'm going to say this, you know, I'm not whether I support her or don't support her. I don't think she will be successful in both areas because of the image.
Okay. Very good, very good. All right, well, you let us know what you think. Will you purchase her toys and her record in the same year? You let us know what you think. Of course, going over to PointOfView_RDL. We've got one more segment for you. Each week, we are going to be doing a segment where we offer a professional development tip and a professional fashion tip. In this segment, we have some helpful information for the emerging leaders who are watching. That means you. We're going to kick this week's discussion off in a more discussion format. We're going to be asking the question to our panelists here. What's your biggest professional pet peeve? So let's start with that. Tiffany, what is your biggest professional pet peeve? What gets under your skin the most with professionalism?
Most of the time, it's surrounded by emails and email etiquette. You're talking about these days where, you know, we're in a technology type of world. Everybody's texting, all these LOL smiley faces happening in my email. And what I most of the time do is ignore those emails because, you know, you have to remember professionalism. You have to remember your environment. So you can't talk via email like you do in a text message to your homie, you know? So I'm very, very much bothered by that. I normally don't respond to those emails.
What do you think? Do you think, just real quick, that Ebonics can make its way into the modern day Generation Y vernacular? Because text type is America's version of Ebonics. So we put that out there. So it's okay to say LOL, but it's not okay to say ain't. So what do you think? Tell me about that.
I can't see it happening. You know, our world is so dominated with tradition and, you know, historical and, you know, correct, proper English and all that. I don't see that becoming a part of our regular vernacular. Like in emails, it's going to be regular to be able to see ain't and LOL. I don't see that happening.
Larry, what's your biggest professional pet peeve?
My biggest professional pet peeve was someone that has a background in English, spelling. I hate people who send emails or send messages and the spelling is incorrect, or you spell it correctly yet you use the word in the wrong context.
Oh, man.
Terrible.
Wow. And that's what, I've also seen people who didn't know the right there either. You know,
That's another
that
one.
kills me sometimes.
That's another one.
I think about, you know, my elementary education. It took me a while to learn that too. My biggest professional pet peeve, I got to say, is it was recently people with long email signatures. You know, people who had their entire resume on their email signature. I don't need to know all of that. Just give me your contact. But it has recently become people who ask for letters of recommendation in an informal manner. If you're going to ask for a letter of recommendation, especially from somebody who is important, you need to A, do it in a timely fashion, and B, have a formal request for that. Okay, this person needs to be given a good amount of time to write that letter if they're going to write it. But then don't just say, hey, I need a letter of rec written for this person by Friday and it's Wednesday. Not okay. And I think that we've got to start teaching these students to have a better proper. If it wasn't for, you know, guys like Dr. P and Dennis Baskin and Darian Snow checking me, I don't think I would be as at least as professionally astute as I am today. So we've got to start being more straightforward with some of these students.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Agree.
Well, you know, tell us what your professional tip is, or even if it's something that you do, and you let us know exactly what that professional tip is, or at least what your professional pet peeve is, and we'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and go on over to the Facebook and Twitter page. Moving on, next we've got the You've Got to Be Kidding Me list. I think this is going to be a good list, and you know what? Let's go ahead and say it together, guys, on three. 1, 2, 3. You've got to be kidding me. The first person on our list is Dennis Rodman. Hi, Dennis. Dennis Rodman is on his way over, or he is over in North Korea right now. In light of North Korea's recent nuclear test, he's gone over there to use basketball as a means of mending the relationship between the United States and North Korea. My question is, what if this actually works? How will the world be if Dennis Rodman is able to go over there and mend a relationship with the country that really wants to get rid of us? Let's just be honest.
That says a lot, and it speaks to the ability to mend relationships with our current political leaders. But I do want to say this to Dennis. If you're watching the show, get back here, please. Seriously. Stop playing.
It might be a scam.
That's not the right place to do it.
We know Dennis is very eclectic. He's different. You never know. I mean,
look,
people love him. We know who he is.
We love him. This is North Korea,
love him.
That just had a nuclear test last week.
Aren't they so brash with it too? Like, what missile? Missile's like right here. What are you talking about?
It was a direct, upfront challenge to the United States. Dennis, come on.
Yeah,
he might need to come back home.
Well, let me ask you this, man. If it works, if he goes over there and is able to mend a relationship or at least make some progress, I think we have to start taking him seriously. He's always had a very unique look on life. I read his book, Bad as I Want to Be, and I got to say, I thought it was incredible. You know, the way he just was so open about his life and the things that he's learned from his mistakes and the mistakes of others. So if he's able to go over there and like actually do some real political work, it could really, really mean something. Next, we've got Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart made a comment on his show, or at least wrote it into the script, Larry. It says, I used to be racist before today, but that monkey saved my life. Go Obama. It set up the scene a little bit about what this comment, this comment came from.
Kevin Hart's spoof reality TV show, Real Husbands of Hollywood. It was at the end of the show where there was the bank robbery scene. Kevin was the kind of the savior of that scene in a joking manner. And they had the confessional, and there was an older white gentleman that made the comment, I used to be racist before today, but that monkey saved my life. Go Obama.
Now, do you think that this is satire, or you think this is just straight out disrespect?
At first glance, you know, it certainly is straight out disrespect. But if you think critically about comedians, in that sense, and the message that they portray. And we've had this conversation. I think it was strategic, and I think he was putting out a certain message.
Wow. What do you think about that?
Well, you know,
A little Dave Chappelle-ish, if you will.
You know, I see the value in satire, and I see the value of trying to make a point through comedy, but it's if your audience is catching that.
Yeah. Is your audience catching that?
Is the audience catching that?
I like that. Lastly, we've got MJ's baby mama. Tiffany, tell us about MJ's baby mama.
So Michael Jordan, there's alleged baby mama action happening right now where this woman just came forward. She has a 16-year-old son, and she's saying she wants to prove paternity that it's Michael Jordan's son.
Is it his son?
Is it his son?
I think it may be. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance, man.
Who knows, man? We all know how Michael Jordan gets down. I wish we could have spent more time on this, but we got to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back. Go on over to Facebook and Twitter and tell us what you think about MJ's 16-year-old. But what if he turns out to be the one who takes on his legacy and becomes the next big basketball player?
Could be.
Who knows? Tell us what you think, guys. Point of View. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching.
When you have too much homework, you get ticked off. When you get ticked off, you go work out. When you go work out, you feel the power. When you feel the power, you dress as Spider-Man. When you dress as Spider-Man, you spend time on top of buildings. When you spend time on top of buildings, you fall off of buildings. Don't fall off of buildings. Visit the UC for bowling, movies, food, and entertainment any day of the week.
Because UWW-TV is a learning institution, we try to get all of our staff members involved, even our technicians.
Damn, the Bears aren't that good. I mean, Jay Cutler can't even win an NFC championship game.
Oh, you don't have to tell me twice. Just see how he looks. Carrie, what do you think?
I totally agree, guys. That'll move the change. Touchdown, Celtics. Brewers. I mean, touchdown, Brewers. No?
Are you bored on campus? Then come down to Warhawk Alley in the University Center. We have everything you need to take a break from your studies and have a great time. So come blow off some steam with our air hockey, darts, foosball, video games, 8 top-of-the-line Brunswick pool tables, and our 10-lane bowling alley. We have nightly specials, blacklight bowling, tournaments, and tons of chances to win prizes. For more information or to set up a reservation, call Warhawk Alley at 262-472-5681.
Turn us on. Flip them off. 91.7 WSUW. 91.7 is a student-run radio station serving the Whitewater area with a variety of original programs, live sports broadcasting, community events, and more. So turn us on. 91.7 FM or stream us live at 917theedge.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Point of View. In our final segment, we're going to have a topic discussion on the question of President Obama's race. In an interview with NPR's Michael Martin, Morgan Freeman stated the following: "They just conveniently forget that Barack had a mama and she was white, very white, American, Kansas, middle America." The Oscar winner continued, "There was no argument about who he is or what he is. America's first black president hasn't arisen yet. He's not America's first black president. He's America's first mixed race president." So I think I want to start off by asking, does it matter how black Obama is? Is he black or is he mixed? What do you think, Larry?
So this is a problem that we had when he was first coming up for office. At one point in time, because of his biracial history, he wasn't black enough for us black folk. And then once he actually made it, he was black enough. Then it became he was too black on the other end.
He's a brother if he wins.
Right. You know what I'm saying? In that fashion that we claim him. Does it matter? No. Whether he's 25% black, 50% black, 75 or 100% black, I personally still consider him America's first black president, my first black president, and I'm standing behind him.
And if you can still agree with the one drop rule, then that's it right there. Tiff, what are your
exactly
thoughts?
what I was going to say. And we're coming from a culture that it's all about the one drop rule. So it's so funny to me that all of a sudden it's how much black is he when, we come from a place where, if you got a little bit, you're black, and you're going to be treated that way. My whole thing is who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Do black people claim stars who are mixed when they do good things?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Because, when Halle Berry won, who's clearly mixed. We were like, hey, black Oscar.
She's one of us.
All right, come on, we got it. Same thing with Obama. But let's say there's some mass tragedy that happens, and that person deserves to be or is mixed. Do we claim him or not? Or what about those guys like the snipers, DC snipers, who were full? I don't know if they were black, but they were like mixed with something, but people considered them black. Do we really claim the people who do the bad things, or do we just wait for somebody good to come along and snatch them up?
We conveniently claim the good ones, and in some way or another, we try to push off the bad ones. And it's the same thing from the other side, conveniently claiming the good ones and then pushing off the bad ones.
What are your thoughts, Tiff?
I'm all about black is beautiful. Why are we worried about all that?
True.
You know, we have a president here. We're talking about something amazing happening in our nation. And I just wonder why this conversation is still happening. That's what bothers me. Why are we still talking about it? It's mixed.
Let's ask Morgan Freeman, why are we still talking about this?
Why are we still talking about this?
I guess because he played a black president twice. That
So
gets
now
him some
he's-
political
so now he's the
insight.
black president
And I respect Morgan
of
Freeman.
TV.
Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it was too critical. I think that especially in his second term, when he's done so much and
So much.
he's trying to do so much, I think it was just unnecessary criticism. Larry, tell everyone what email address they can use if they'd like to comment on this story.
If you want to comment on the story, email us at pointofview.rdl@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at pointofview_RDL.
All right. How much time do we have left? We got 4 minutes? All right, I think we wrapped that segment up a little too quickly. So, I thought he said 4 seconds. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, all right, let's wrap it up. Let's finish it up. But we've got a little bit more time. So then let me ask you. Let's continue. We talked last week about who has the potential to be the next black president. Okay, who has the potential to be the next black president, and will they actually be black?
Will they actually be?
Yeah,
You mean
100%? I slid that in there to see who was going to jump in. I slid that in there.
You mean not 50%? Like not a grandma who's white or anything? I mean, at this point in the game, we haven't really seen. I mean, while I did my vote last week certainly went to Colin Powell. I can see him emerging, but we haven't really identified. We have a few, but no real contenders in terms of African American descent that will jump in the 2016 race. But I do think it's possible. I do think we'll see more than one, and I think we'll see that on both sides of the aisle, Republican as well as Democrat.
Tiff, what are your thoughts?
What about Michelle?
Oh.
First Lady Michelle
Good
is a
one.
force to be reckoned with.
Good one.
I agree.
Now, last week I said that Michelle was the brains behind the operation. When the show aired, I went to my parents' house to pick up my kids. They were watching my kids, and my dad said, "Let me ask you a question." He said, "Come on now, the brains behind the operation, the audacity of hope, dreams of my father, all of his speeches, all of his political mastermind. You mean to tell me that you're gonna take that credit away from him?" So I gotta admit, I agree with my father. I think that she's the energy behind the operation. I think that she drives him, she pushes him, but Barack is an incredible thinker. He's an incredible mind. Will we ever see another Barack Obama?
Will we ever? That was going to say. Will we ever see
I don't think there's the
That's
question is who's the next black president, who's the next Barack?
Me.
No,
Vote for me. Maybe not 2016, but 2020.
What's next for Barack? What do you think he's going to do after this presidency?
He's going to do what most presidents do. He's going to retire. He's going to write a book, his memoir, and sell a gajillion copies. I will buy 2. And then he'll chill out and probably do some foundation work and speak for like 20 G's a gig like Bill Clinton.
Well, we know certain presidents, when they back potential candidates that are coming up, they have a lot of clout. Do you think Obama's endorsement for future presidents will be valid?
Absolutely. I think that as soon as this administration has concluded, I think as soon as his term is over, people are going to fall all the way back in love with him all over again. He won't have anything to prove anymore. He did the best he could. Even his haters will back off a little bit and will just enjoy him as the outstanding public figure that he is. With that, it's just like with Bill Clinton. He had a huge scandal. And now his endorsement did a lot to help Obama get his second term. So I think that he's going to, just capitalize on his celebrity success and just live life, man.
Well, I'm excited to see what he's going to do over the next several years.
I'm excited to see the girls.
Yes.
When the girls get to 16 and 18, and when they're starting to really live life, I am very excited to see how they just blossom into women. I think that what's the young one name? Is that Sasha or Malia?
The younger one is Malia.
She's going to be the political one in the family.
Really?
That's what I think. Oh, I think that she's watching everything that's going on right now. And if anybody's going to, if either one of them is going to carry on his legacy, it's going to be her. I think Sasha's going to take more of a Michelle type presence with it and have a very subtle but powerful political voice. But I think the one who's going to really hammer this political thing out is going to be that young one. She's going to be a force to be reckoned with, man.
Let me ask you this. Let me put this out there, because you mentioned this with like Bill Clinton. He had that scandal, yet he had a huge backing behind him. Obama, no scandals.
No.
Right, outside of this whole birther movement or whatever.
Oh,
you know, what does that say about him as an individual, as a leader, as a politician?
I have no idea, but that's a great question to end it with, because we are actually wrapping up now. So great question, Larry. If you'd like to answer it, you heard the email address. Go on over to Facebook and Twitter, PointOfView_RDL for both. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for this episode of Point of View. Thank you, Tiffany, for being on with us.
Thank you
so happy to have
me.
you. Must have you back. Again, thank you for watching. That's it for this episode of Point of View. We will see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.
The Center for Students with Disabilities is an accessible learning community where students with disabilities have opportunities to fully participate